Even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly because he is properly situated in his determination. Please repeat. Even if one commits the most abominable action,
even if one commits the most abominable action,
if he is engaged in devotional service,
if he is engaged in devotional service,
he is to be considered saintly.
He is to be considered saintly
because he is properly situated in his determination.
because he is properly situated in his determination.
So Srila Prabhupada's purport is a couple pages long, but it's really powerful. He's making a very strong point here in the purport. So please listen carefully. The word sudurachara used in this verse is very significant, and we should understand it properly. When he is conditioned, he has two kinds of activities. One is conditional, and the other is constitutional. As for protecting the body or abiding by the rules of society and state, certainly there are different activities, even for the devotees, in connection with the conditional life, and such activities are conditional. Besides these, the living entity who is fully conscious of his spiritual nature and is engaged in Krishna consciousness or the devotional service of the Lord has activities which are called transcendental. Such activities are performed in his constitutional position, and they are technically called devotional service. Now, in the conditioned state, sometimes devotional service and the conditional service in relation to the body will parallel one another. But then again, sometimes these become opposed to one another. As far as possible, a devotee is very cautious so that he does not do anything that could disrupt his wholesome condition. He knows that perfection in his activities depends on his progressive realization of Krishna consciousness. However, it may be seen that a person in Krishna consciousness commits some act which may be taken as most abominable socially or politically. But such a temporary fall down does not disqualify him. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that if a person falls down but is wholeheartedly engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Lord, the Lord, being situated within his heart, purifies him and excuses him from that abomination. The material contamination is so strong that even a yogi fully engaged in the service of the Lord sometimes becomes ensnared. But Krishna consciousness is so strong that such an occasional fall down is at once rectified. Therefore, the process of devotional service is always a success. No one should deride a devotee for some accidental fall down from the ideal path, for, as explained in the next verse, such occasional fall downs will be stopped in due course as soon as a devotee is completely situated in Krishna consciousness. A person who is situated in Krishna consciousness and is engaged with determination in the process of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, should be considered to be in the transcendental position, even if by chance or accident he is found to have fallen. The words sadhur eva, he is saintly, are very emphatic. They are a warning to the non-devotees that because of an accidental fall down, a devotee should not be derided. He should still be considered saintly, even if he has accidentally fallen down. Avya is still more emphatic. If one does not follow this rule and derides a devotee for his accidental fall down, then one is disobeying the order of the Supreme Lord. The only qualification of a devotee is to be unflinchingly and exclusively engaged in devotional service. In the Nrsimha Purana, the following statement is given: Bhagavati chahara vananya cheta bhrishamlinopi virajate manushyaha nahi shashakalusha chhabi kadachit timira para bhavatam upaiti chandraha. The meaning is that even if one is fully engaged in the devotional service of the Lord, even if one fully engaged in the devotional service of the Lord is sometimes found engaged in abominable activities, these activities should be considered to be like the spots that resemble the mark of a rabbit on the moon. Such spots do not become an impediment to the diffusion of moonlight. Similarly, the accidental fall down of a devotee from the path of saintly character does not make him abominable. On the other hand, one should not misunderstand that a devotee in transcendental devotional service can act in all kinds. This verse only refers to an accident due to the strong power of material connections. Devotional service is more or less a declaration of war against the illusory energy. As long as one is not strong enough to fight the illusory energy, there may be accidental fall downs. But when one is strong enough, he is no longer subjected to such fall downs, as previously explained. No one should take advantage of this verse and commit nonsense and think that he is still a devotee. If he does not improve in his character by devotional service, then it is to be understood that he is not a high devotee. So, with this seminar, basically the structure for the 3 days is as follows. The title of the seminar, as Prabhu mentioned, is Seeking Forgiveness and Giving Forgiveness, Lessons from the Srimad Bhagavatam. And what we'll do is today we will focus on Krishna's quality of forgiveness, to think of it as a model for how we can act and how we ought to give our forgiveness. Okay, so we think of it in terms of Krishna tonight in the short time that we have. And then tomorrow we focus on the act of seeking forgiveness, of taking forgiveness or asking for forgiveness from others we have wronged. And then on Sunday we will focus on giving forgiveness. And in each case, we'll discuss the methods, the practical methods of how we undergo. The theoretical reasons as to why we should. We'll discuss the practical reasons, ways in which we can do that. And finally, we'll discuss the key obstructions, the key challenges or problems that prevent us from engaging in asking for forgiveness or in giving forgiveness to someone who might have wronged us. Okay, so the hope is to give us a kind of a basis, a model for practice in our own lives, because this is something that we all have needed in our lives and will continue to need at some point. This is one of the most important